Hi, good evening, everybody. If you're in the class, I'd like you to just type 1 in the comment section. All right, if you can hear me and you can see my face, I'd like you to just type 1 in the comment section. Just type 1 in the comment section. If you can see my face, if you can hear me or see my face, just type 1 in the comment section. Just type 1 in the comment section. Right, beautiful. If you can hear my voice, if you can see my face, just type 1 in the comment section. All right, I'll be waiting for you to join me in class. If you can see my face, just all right. All right. Good evening, everybody. I want to welcome you to Apicts Forex training. This is our first training in January 2026, and I'm happy. And you are lucky to be here because I'm going to be teaching you things that that I'm not sure you'll be able to pay for. I'm going to be sharing you. I'm going to be taking you by the hand and take you systematically on a journey that is of great financial benefit to you. You know, someone said money answers all things. You know, so if the moment the financial aspect of your life is settled, I guarantee you the list of a prayer point will reduce. It will reduce actually drastically. And so this class is I learned that from the form that you filled, majority of you are either have no experience at all in trading financial market, or you're a beginner. You're a beginner. In fact, 100% of you, and except 1%, 100% of you, virtually 100% of you are either having no experience at all, or you are a complete beginner. And that makes it very interesting for me. Very interesting for me because as far as I'm concerned, and as far as forex market is concerned, you have a virgin mind. A virgin mind. Virgin mind is always of great interest to me when it comes to teaching people because from experience, most of my students, most of those who made tremendous impact or making massive profit from the market are the people with virgin minds. When they came to our forex offices to learn, you know, when they came to our offices to learn, they are just stuck beginner. They know nothing at all about trading forex market. And then they are able to, because they are able to stick with the principles or the strategy that we share with them, and they just stick with it, and they make money, and they're always making money. Because you see, forex market is a little bit muddled up. A lot of people with this and that, people easily get confused. So I love it when I meet young people who have virgin mind. I love it when I meet young people who know nothing about forex before, so that they are easily get trained, or like somebody who has been battered and shattered by forex market, somebody who has learned 1001 strategies And I've now resolved that, see, forex is a scam. When such people come to meet you, it takes a long time for them to unlearn and relearn what you're about to teach them. So I want to greet you once again. Congratulations for being in this class. And I guarantee you, at the end of this training, you'll be happy you attend. And see something, I promise you, I'm not going to charge you anything. You're not going to see, you cannot even pay for what I want to share with you, because if I'm to charge you, I'll charge you so much. A majority of you here are undergraduate, 100 level, 20 level student, which is remarkable. See, I wish I was in 100 level when I first of all paid somebody. I think 100 level, yes, yes. At the end of 100 level was the first time I paid somebody to teach me forex. It's been a long ago, long ago. And the person just gave me, taught me a little, gave me a photocopy of about less than 10 pages, and I couldn't just grab it. I could not just grab it. It's been a while. Then I did not even have phone that could browse. I have a laptop. It was war for me. I could not get the stuff. So I abandoned for it for a long years, long years. And then see, despite I paid the person, I learned very little or almost nothing at all. But you are opportune to have someone like me that I can actually spend time with you, okay, and teach you and take you by the end. You can ask me questions. I'm ready to give it to you for free, just absolutely for free, absolutely for free, because I'm grateful to God that at the time I learned to trade financial market, it was the right time for my life, and it has changed my life. That changed my destiny. It has changed the lives of people around. Not just my life. And one of the beautiful things I learned that get me inspired about teaching people. There's one particular time I organized a training, and in this particular training, I had doctors, especially PhD holder from a particular universities. They came around, and then I had the HOD of department. So I had adults that came around. But this man that came around, and it was around November, December of that particular year that I organized that training. And it was amazing. It was amazing. I actually thought it was a physical class. It wasn't an online class. I usually enjoy physical class because 2 3 days I've covered a lot. Online, for example, this training now I schedule it to last 12 days, 12 to 15 days. If I'm going to teach you if I'm going to teach you physically in 3 4 days, it might take up to 5 days, it might take up to 3 4 5 days before you're able to cover as much as you want to cover online. But then this man, at the end of what inspired me was that when Christmas came close, the wife of this particular man sent her daughter to my office to come and give me a lot of gifts. I was asking, so the man also followed the children. I was like, what happened? He said, their mother said to give me gifts. I said, what happened? He said, this is their best Christmas ever. That the man made so much profit that he was able to afford and to buy things that he couldn't buy in so many years, so many years. And what that means is that even though he was a PhD holder, a doctor for that matter, he didn't have such finance. I've had students I think sometimes in is it Yanapaja now in Lagos, where the wife of the man called me and just praying for me, pray for me. I said, what happened? Said the husband made money and installed solar in the house. They that used to experience heat while sleeping at night, now they could enjoy fan all night, enjoy fan and breeze all night. So the children could watch TV 24 hours. I was just smiling. Just smiling. Even then, it's been a while. It's been a while. So I'm quite interested. I'm quite happy that you guys are here and you're going to learn a lot from me. You learned a lot from me. So I like you to pay attention. I'll be having live classes with you 8 p.m. every day, but because of the volume of what I want to cover with you to touch every aspect from being a beginner to an advanced level, I'll be doing pre-recorded videos in between live classes. And so wherever we stop now, before another live class, I would have done a pre-recorded video so that I can cover a lot, because I will not want a situation where, because one of the things I always protect is that when you go out there and you say, oh, Apicts Forex, I learned forex from Apicts Forex, you should be able to know so much about how to trade financial market that you also should be able to teach somebody. So because wherever you go to, you are representing our brand, you are representing aspect of financial market, so that you'll be able to make money from the market and be financially free. Okay, that is the purpose of this class, and I believe we are starting very well on the note. So, in this class, nobody should be a passive member of the class. Don't be a passive member of the class. Participate. I ended the class late December. I call it Chicks in Trade. The class was designed to be for ladies, young chicks, from everywhere, from a lot of places, and I put them together. I understand that majority of you in the class are also young men, actually, but the class was designed to be for ladies. And one of the inspiring things is that they were a there are very there are some students in that class that are very participatory. They were just participating this. They do assignment because in this class it's going to be do assignment. I'm going to be marking assignment. They do assignment, they respond, and it was very amazing, very, very amazing. So in this class, participate participates. If there's any aspect of it that you don't understand, ask questions. The class is going to be systematically because I've arranged the thoughts in form of a curriculum. Is a systematic and progressive training. Okay, systematic and progressive training. So that a training is at the end of a training, the end of it is the beginning of another aspect of the training. So I have my syllabus that we always follow. So don't miss any of the classes. I was also told that many of you are actually in your exam period, which is beautiful. No problem. The class is always at night, and you can watch the classes, whether they pre-recorded or live classes later, even if you miss the class. But then make sure that you don't jump the classes. If you have don't jump the classes. Just make sure that you watch sequentially, you watch progressively, you watch systematically, and make sure you understand what is taught in a video before you move to the next one. And if you have questions, you're on a WhatsApp group, always drop your question at any time. I may not always be available to answer your question, but as soon as I come online, all your questions will be answered. Your questions will be answered. So let me quickly take you to my slide and let's begin from there. So wherever we stop today, we'll continue tomorrow, then we'll continue again, then we'll continue again until we are able to cover as much as we scheduled to cover in this class. All right, let me share my screen with you. Can you see my screen now? If you can see my screen, please type 2 in the comment section. If you can see Apicts Forex Standard Basic Course 2026, please just type 2 in the comment section if you can see my screen. Type 2 in the comment section. All right, beautiful, beautiful. So let's continue from there. Now, first of all, I'm not sure I've mentioned my name. My name is Don. I'm a forex trader. I'm a forex trainer, and I'm a signal provider in Apicts. Okay. Now, these are the questions I'd like you to have answers to, and these are the questions that we want to answer in the course of our training. Do you desire to be financially free and make money in dollars regardless of your location in the world? I love that aspect, regardless of your location in the world. Many years ago, I think from 2019, I started having very much passionate in training people to trade, especially the blacks. I remember my first set of students are from Zimbabwe and South Africa, and then Nigeria. Later, I started having students from Ghana and Cameroon. And in fact, in these five countries I just mentioned to you, I have staff in those countries. We have staff in those countries. And then you see, the beautiful thing about trading forex is that it is not location bound. It's not location bound. Okay, so if you desire to be financial free and make money, whether in dollar or in pound, in foreign currency or in expensive currencies, regardless of location in the world, if that is a yes for you, then you're in the right place. Do you desire to be able to afford any school of your choice for yourself and your kid? Many times we dream to, years ago, one of my reasons for going to campuses to train is to help students who are having challenges in in paying their school fees. I had scholarship when I was an undergraduate, but I know how it was for some people not to be able to pay their school fees, or especially their accommodation, or afford some basic need in school. So I found that teaching people to trade forex is one of the ways I can help out, and that actually worked. It worked out. I have some phenomenal, outstanding result for some certain students who made so much money, made so much more than you expect. Imagine undergraduate, you're buying house, undergraduate, you're buying land, just by trading crash and boom, crash 500, crash 1,000, boom 500, boom 1,000. All of this I'm going to be explaining to you in a course of the training. How just simple strategy by the dedication of these guys, they're able to make tremendous profit in the financial market. Okay, so you'll be able to afford a lot of things. I've had students who could now cater for themselves in school. Very beautiful thing. And that is always what pushes me more. I want to do more. I want to do more. Why am I always want to do more? The forex market is so large, is so wide, is so big that the profit you make, okay, the profit you make does not affect the profit I make. You just imagine the forex market that have that has about almost 7 trillion US dollar in circulation every 24 hours. How much do you want to make? How much do you want to take out of the market that affect the market? It doesn't affect the market. So it's beautiful. When I teach you to trade and you make money from my teachings, it doesn't affect the profit I make. I say you are happy, I'm happy. Sometimes I enter supermarket and I see my students, coming in, and then I'm coming and they just say me, as I done. I just greet them, give the security man money, and then everybody's happy. Everybody's happy. I met one of them in one supermarket one day. I say, hey, how you doing? How are you now? What business are you doing now? The profit you make from trading financial, what are you using? And the guy say, sir, we have a lot of POS points here in this city, but you will not find out. They say I think they got a super agent from once, I think Zenith Bank, and so they just hire people doing POS. They have more than 40, 50 POS points in that particular city. I'm like, wow, that was beautiful. Are you still trading? They said trading. I know one thing about forex market is that once a profitable trader is always a trader. There is no way you will taste money in the forex market and you will leave it. It's not possible. And that's the amazing part of it. And next, do you desire to make enough capital for your business of your choice without having to borrow money from banks or anyone? This is another thing. In fact, this is one of the reasons. This is one of my major reasons for teaching people. I let people want to go into agriculture. You want to run a business. You have a vision that you want to fund. And somebody can even be a musician, want to be singing. He has no money to process all that it requires to launch an album, to pay for a studio, to know what is it. I remember years ago, I met a young guy who went to sell his blood, so that I can pay for the release of a track, not an album, or just a track of his song. Wow, wow! Imagine then he knew how to trade forex market. He wouldn't have needed to sell his blood to do that. Do you want to do agriculture, or do you want to go into factory? Do you want to produce something? Do you want to do anything? And then you need fund, you need capital. This is one of the way I can be of help to you. And when you learn this, even if you are making money little by little, and you can save the money little by little, you eventually have a capital that you can run your vision in life. Okay. Now, do you desire to help people around you financially without feeling the burden? This is one of the amazing things I like. And sometimes when I'm giving people money, to them it looks so much in naira, but to me, I've calculated it in dollar. I discovered it's very small money, so I don't feel it. Because see, usually when you become a forex trader, you're always taking in dollar, you're always taking in USD or in foreign currency. I think in dollar most of the time. So when I want to buy something and say, oh, this amount of money, quickly I've converted the money to dollar and say, oh, how much is that in dollar? Because I trade in dollar, I don't trade naira accounts. I trade in dollar accounts, so I'm always thinking in dollar. So it's easy for me to help people. Sometimes, you see someone just come to beg you money and just give them, you're giving them in thousands, you're giving them in thousands of naira. And people are like, you like, is that money much? Or like, how much is that in dollar? It's a small money. Okay. So do you desire to help people around you financially without feeling the body? Without feeling the body. That's very important. And then if your response is a yes to all these questions, then you are in the right place. You're in the right place. And let's go further. So my promise to you is that at the end of this training, you will start making money. You start making money. This class will, because we are taking longer time, this class will touch a lot of aspects in trading financial market. It will touch a lot of aspects. I may not guarantee you will learn everything there is about forex financial market, but I can guarantee you will learn everything you need to know to be consistently profitable. I'm not just teaching you how to trade. I will teach you how to make profit consistently, because I understand that there's a difference between making profit in the financial market and making profit consistently, where you can guarantee consistent profit in the market. And that is my goal. That's the reason why the training is going to be taking, couple of days, because if you just teach you a strategy where you can use to make money, I can teach that one to you on a few hours. Enough years, even within a day or two, I can show you that. But then when the market begin to be, because the market is dynamic, when the situation in the market is changing, will you be able to change alongside? And that's why it's going to take us a while. We're going to be touching different aspects, different tools, different aspects of the market, so that when the market change, you change alongside, and you can make profit consistently in the market. Don't forget the word consistent profit. Consistent profit. And that is usually my goal in this class. Are you still with me in this class? Are you still with me in this class? All right, all right, all right. So let's continue. Now, this is one area I wanted to look at. Okay, benefit of trading financial market. Benefits of trading financial market. Number one, flexibility. Flexibility is one of the most powerful reasons. You see, when I wanted to start launching out fully into financial market, into trading forex, the first question I asked myself is, for how long can I be in this game? Because you see, when you get to the age of 25 upwards, by the time you are getting to the age of 25, okay, 20, between, let's say from 25, you should start planning you should start planning your life. Okay, in this thing I'm doing, can I do it for a very long time, or can I do it for the rest of my life? How long can I be able to do this? Because the problem people have is that they get themselves involved in something that can just last them for 1 year, 2 years, and by the end of that engagement, they are starting all over again. And so I resolved in my mind. So I was working, I discovered that, look, forex has been for many years. Will it still continue to be? Forex is going to, it will continue to be as long as there is exchange of trade between one country to another country, as long as people export and import, as long as the exchange ratio between countries is not 1 to 1, as long as you don't have all the currencies in the whole world with the unit of 1 to 1, to $1 to £1, £1 to $1, and then £1 to £1 cedi, as long as that does not exist, there will always be forex. And that makes it very beautiful. So forex is very flexible. Flexible in the sense that you can trade from anywhere in the world. You can trade from anywhere in the world. Okay? As long as you have your internet connection and you have your device. And the beautiful thing is that the market you are connecting to is the same market that everybody is looking at all over the world. And that's remarkable. That's remarkable. That is remarkable. Imagine you're a part of something global. You're a part. See, there is no, when you begin to trade forex, consistently, your thinking is different. You are thinking global. You are thinking of the market maker. What is the president of this particular country is saying? Which war is happening somewhere? Because all of them are the things you need to put together to make a trade decision when you come to the market. So important. So flexibility. Number two, liquidity. I said earlier, I said market has over 6 trillion US dollar in circulation every 24 hours. And I'm going to be giving you in the course of this training, I'll be giving you the 7 currency pairs that you must focus your attention on, where you can make more money within the shortest period of time. So it has liquidity. Market has liquidity. It is the most liquid, it's a market that has the high liquidity all over the world. The forex market has over 6 trillion, in fact 6.7 trillion US dollar in turnover every 24 hours. Many years ago, my goal is, can I catch $500 in 24 hours and just leave the market? That was my goal. I remember I saved that as my screensaver. $500 every day, $500 every day, $500 every day. I discovered that I could not keep $500 every day, but I discovered that at the end of the month, when I put all the money together, I've made $500 times at least 25 days in the market, or 20 to 25 days in the market. So imagine I trade 5 times in a week, and then Monday to Friday, and then you have, so if, by that I multiply 500 times the number of the day that the market open, I've actually make profit. But there are times, sometimes I make loss, sometimes I make profit. When I add everything together, I've actually make around $500. That was years back. That was years back. So it's very interesting because why? The liquidity is so much. Imagine that time the turnover was about 5.3 trillion. When I set that target, 5.3 trillion, just take out my own $500 from 5.3 trillion. I've gone far. I've made my profit. I've left the market. So number three, you don't need a boss. You don't need to, somebody is not, see, you don't need a boss. You don't need, somebody that gives you employment, somebody that pays your salary. You don't need a boss to be able to be profitable in the market. Number four, no need of any employee. When I started to trade financial market, I only had a small table. I was living in a rented apartment that time. I've not built houses or bought. I've not even, before started buying cars. I only have one corner in my room then. I had this plastic blue table and one plastic chair at one corner. That's where I was focusing. I go there early in the morning, look for signals. Then I only knew just one strategy that time. Then I trade, make money. I remember I started trading I started trading for people. I remember there are two nurses I was trading for in Kenya. Kenya, I think Kenya Medical Hospital or something. There's a lady I was trading for when she was making profit. She introduced me to a friend too. They funded the account and I was trading, I was making profit. That was how I made my first set of profit, because when I started to trade, I didn't have capital, but I knew how to trade. So I was able to trade for people. We share profit. I think we were sharing 50-50 that time. It will make me every Friday we share profits. And then I work for another 1 week. So you don't need any employee, just your table, just your device, your computer or your phone. Your phone is sufficient. If you have a bigger screen, you have a laptop and you have a tab, or you have an iPad, or you have Android phone, very good, very nice, very okay. That's all you need. You don't need an office. Like I said, just your phone. The next point is that risk control. See, market is very risky. Market is very risky. Financial market is very risky. And many years ago, my coach taught me that forex market is very risky. And he said, every time you hear the word risky, it does not mean that you should run away from it. What it means is that the word risky or the word risk, what it means that much knowledge is required. That means you need much knowledge to be able to, be profitable in that market. Much knowledge is very risky. People lose money. Listen, forex market is one place where you can make stupendous profit. It's also a place where you can lose a lot of money, very quickly, very quickly. So because people lose money in this market, they think it is a scam. It is not a scam. It's just that it's a kind of market that requires a stupendous amount of knowledge. It requires you to have deep depth of understanding, and and it's not that ambiguous. And let me tell you how this thing looks like. This looks like. You see, forex market is like learning a new language. You learn a new language. Imagine all of you in this class now, you're most likely from Nigeria. Now, if you're in Nigeria at the moment, and then somebody say, let's go to China, and then you don't know anything about Chinese language, and then they say, let's go and learn Chinese language. And then what do you think is going to happen? No matter how fluent or eloquent you are in speaking your local language or speaking in English, you're going to begin from the most basic in learning Chinese. You're going to begin from the alphabet. Then you start learning the syllables. Then you start learning in words. Then you start learning in sentences. That's exactly how it looks like in the financial market. See, the financial market has its own language. It doesn't matter whether you're a professor of mathematics or professor of engineering. It doesn't matter whether you're even a banker or you have learned marketing, or you did banking and finance in in school, in university or something. It doesn't matter. The financial market has its own language. And so, you see, something happened many years ago. I met a particular young guy who was just finished secondary school. And by the time he was in SS3, as of 2019, 2020, he was making 20,000 naira per week. Imagine in 2019, 2020, this young guy who just finished secondary school, that means he was making 80,000 naira per month. And I was like, at that time, the minimum wage was like 30,000. How is it 30,000? This guy is making 80K. If he finished secondary school now and he wants to look for a job somewhere, who will pay him 80K? And then the guy eventually, I think 2-3 years later, we met again. He had already gained admission. And then he told me, he said, boss, I think that time the reason he called me was because he wanted to trade Nasdaq. He met a coach, I think in Singapore, who taught him how to trade. Because he went to learn further. Actually, he met a coach because he wanted to learn further, learn much more how to trade financial market. So the coach now said, okay, you need to limit your trading to one single instrument. So and said, okay, choose Nasdaq. So he chose Nasdaq, but the broker he was using that time was not offering Nasdaq. So he came to me and said, hey, Egbansu, do you have clinical? Do you have, does the broker offer Nasdaq? I said, yes, my broker offer Nasdaq. Okay, give me your link. So I gave him my link. He opened an account with my broker then, and then he started. But the point I'm trying to raise is this: a secondary school boy can actually learn the language of the market and make profit. It doesn't matter whether you are in SS1 or you are 100 level or you are a professor or you are this. It doesn't matter because this is a brand new language. So you need to approach market like you are learning a new language. You're going to learn from the alphabet, and that's the reason I'm following systematically. I'm following the syllabus. So when we say it is risky, it means much knowledge is required. Are we still together? Are we together in this class? Are we together? If you are with me, say just type 3 in the comment section. If you are with me, type 3 in the comment section. Type 3 in the comment section if you are still with me. If you are with me, type 3 in the comment section. All right, beautiful. Let's continue. Now, leverage. In fact, the reason I'm able to hold this class with you is because of leverage. Because you see, in until I think 1996, I think until 1996, 1997, there was no leverage in the market. Only the big boys, the rich guys were able to trade financial markets. Only the big boys, because the minimum requirement, the minimum amount of money you need that time to trade forex was 100,000 US dollars. That is the minimum you can use to open the lowest lot size. But you see, leverage was introduced to the market. So the brokers now give you a nice leverage. That means, what does leverage mean? It means that you can now come, if you open an account with leverage of 1 to 1,000, 1 to 1,000. That means at every $1 you bring to the broker, you'll be able to trade as if you have $1,000. So if you open an account with 1 to 1,000 leverage, so if you have $100, the market will see you as if you have $10,000 in the market. So the broker is giving you leverage in the market, and that's amazing. That's remarkable. You and I will not be able to learn forex if there is no leverage in the market. So you have an advantage of, just like you go to the bank. Bank say, if you bring in $1, we'll give you $1,000. Which bank does that anywhere in the world? Only in the forex market, and that's why it's beautiful for you. Right now, people even come to trade market with $50. People come to trade with $10. People come to trade with $100. People come to trade with $1,000. It was not possible before year 1990. It wasn't possible. Let's say it wasn't possible before year 2000. It wasn't possible until 1996 or so. It at the beginning of the 20th century when that began to be possible. Not to be possible. So you and I can now trade forex market, enjoying the leverage. But next point, minimum investment. Minimum investment. I've said that earlier. You can actually trade with $10, $50, $100, and that's remarkable. That's remarkable. That's remarkable. Next point, unlimited profits. The profit is almost unlimited. What's the limit of the profit? The limit of the profit is 6.7 trillion US dollar in 24 hours. and I don't think that is what your dream will be. That you want to pack all the money in the forex market of 6.7 trillion US dollar. Buy your no. The profit is almost unlimited. I had this remarkable student that used, I think they had $200. So what happened is that I taught this guy how to do crash and boom. Okay, so they were in my office, and then they had my student who was their classmate in school, and they were discussing one day. They said forex is a scam. Forex is a scam. And then one of them was my student said, forex is not a scam. When you meet my coach, when you meet Don, you will know that forex is not a scam. So I think a couple of days later, he brought them to my office. And one thing I like about these guys is that they were risk takers. They were risk. Okay, don't worry, we're going to be discussing that later in the future. So I registered them, then we registered, then we started trading crash and boom, crash and boom, crash and boom. So what happened is that these two guys that came at this particular day, they only one could afford to fund his account. They were roommates. They were in the same room. They were not just roommates, they grew up in the same community. So they gained admission to the same school, and at the same time, and then they were in the same room. They were roommates, so they actually grew up together. And so they funded his account with $200. One of them funded his account with 200 because see, these are kids that have their parents have farm, so they have access to some little harvest from the farm, so he could afford that amount of money. So he funded his account with $200, and then we started sharing crash and boom. That strategy I'm going to be teaching it in one of these days in this class. Crash and boom, crash 500, crash 1,000, boom 500, boom 1,000, and so we're trading it. And then you see so they went to we usually have very good signal at the middle of the night. So this guy will go to school. I remember that was COVID-19 time because I remember that they had almost 3 days queue in the bank to get their account statement to be able to verify their trading accounts. I can remember very well. It was year 2000, year 2020 rather, because they were supposed to use their account statement then from GT Bank. Imagine those are the days when you go to GT Bank 6 a.m. and then when you even get there, you're already on number 90 something, number 100 something, because people are already queuing the bank by 5 a.m. Imagine what COVID-19 did to all of us. And so they traded, they make profit. My goodness, they make profit. And so they came back to my office, I think about 3-4 days later. This guy has moved $200 to about $800. Wow, remarkable. The funny part of it is that as at that period of time, they make more profit than me, their coach, and that's amazing. All right, so they say, okay, coach, please, we don't know how to make withdrawal, so I withdrew for them. So they now put another $200 in the second guy's account, and then they went back home trading in 2 weeks. If I tell you the kind of money that these guys made, these are the two guys said that they went to Lagos to buy house and they bought land in Lagos. Remarkable result. So what am I trying to say? Unlimited profits. Unlimited profit available in the market. I'm not saying that will happen for everybody. I'm not promising you. I'm not going to put your mind on that those are exceptional cases. Exceptional cases that somebody can just take $200 until he started buying house and buying car. Sorry, they didn't buy car that time. They only bought houses and lands. You got to see those guys. They will see they're so smart that even years after, I think they are serving as copper. I think they are coming now. Serving or they just finished service. So now this is what happened. Unlimited possibility of profit in the market. There's possibility for unlimited profit in the market, especially if you are able to play by the rules of the game. Very important. Then instant income. When it comes to financial markets, you do know that you can make profit now and make withdrawal in the next 1 minute. That's how beautiful the market is. It's not one of those, especially when you have good brokers. Good brokers. I'm going to introduce you to a few good brokers. That's no delay in withdrawal, instant withdrawal. So instant profit, instant income is available in the financial market. You can be trading now, and then you enter an eatery, and you close your trade and make your withdrawal, and use the same money that you just withdrew while you're already eating an eatery to pay for the food that you are eating. Instant income. Now, part-time and full-time trading. I always tell people there is nobody anywhere in the world that has excuse from trading financial market. You cannot be too busy to trade. While some people are scalpers, some are swing traders, and some are day traders. Even when you are busy as a medical doctor, engineer, professor, clinical, you only choose to be maybe a swing trader or an investor. There's nobody who cannot trade financial market. Why some people will not be able to stay there, like some of us that are full-time trader, some of them will not be able to stay there 24 hours or not even 24 hours and spend hours behind your screen to be able to trade. Some can just see a time will come when your master is starting strategy. You don't need more than 30 minutes behind your screen to just check, is my setup getting ready or not? You don't need more than 30 minutes. And even when you want to execute trade, see, making profit not by the number of positions or the number of trades you trade in a week, it's by quality of trade. So part-time, full-time, you can be a part-time trader, you can be a full-time trader. Next point, you no need for educational qualification. I've said that earlier. If a secondary school student could at year 2020 consistently make 80,000 naira every month, you can imagine how much that guy is making right now. So it has nothing to do with, oh, I'm a graduate, oh, I'm not a graduate, oh, the reason I'm not making profit because I'm in secondary school, I'm in other level. No, it has absolutely nothing to do with your educational qualification. Nothing to do. And next point, you can trade anytime, even at leisure. You can trade anytime, anywhere. One of the most remarkable thing that I always want to share in a class I remember a particular time I took a lady to buy something, which year, many years ago, and I was buying that material for that lady at 180,000 naira. So we went to this supermarket. Is this supermarket? Yeah, to a showroom to buy something. I just you just want to price, how much is this thing? And by the time they told us the price, I just gave them my card. I said, all right, let's buy it. The lady was like, and I thought we just came to price. I said, no, let's buy it now. And then we bought it. Then we left. And that thing cost then years ago. It's been long. It's been very long. I bought the 180K. I was like, so I was not telling you, I said, see this money I used to pay down this thing you just bought now. I made the money from the toilet. I made the money in the toilet. Why? Because I was analyzing my charts. I was analyzing the market. And I felt like, and the market has not got it to my entry. Then I felt like using the toilet. I carried my laptop to the toilet, put it on my laps, and then that was when the setup was ready. Come, enter the trade like this. And it was that trade that produced the money I just spent for you now. Remarkable. Because you can trade anytime, you can trade anywhere. The market is flexible. The market is flexible. And that's what make you to say, boy, I need to learn this thing. Years ago, as in Murarima, seriously, I need to learn this thing. I need to learn this thing. It gives you freedom. You don't know you can travel anywhere in the world and then it doesn't affect your income. What a freedom. What a freedom. That's one of the things that inspires me as a person in putting my mind to learn financial market. So even now I'm still learning. I'm telling you, even now I'm still learning. Sometimes I back test again and again and again and again until I've mastered the strategy. But right now, all that we're doing is sticking with our strategy, sticking with what we have found out in the market, and make sure it produces result for us again and again, again and again, again and again. Let me show you a particular slide to give you an example of what I've been trying to buttress. I remember this trade. This trade was an account manager, but account management years ago. Years ago, I was trading volatility 75. And then I made this profit because I was managing an account for one particular guy from Singapore. Is this Singapore? Which country that guy from? I think it was Singapore. Yeah, he gave me an account of 10,000 US dollars to trade with. And then what makes it remarkable? After that time, this is like my biggest profit that particular year. But I kept um this particular screenshot because of what it means to me. I remember before the day before taking this trade, I've been watching this signal for like 2 days. 2 days. So weekend came, and if anybody who have seen volatility before, this is a derivative market. It's the kind of market that we trade 247. I'll be introducing you to this market too. So what happened about is that a friend of mine came from Abuja, and then he came in to do the burial of his of his grandmother rather. Sorry, pardon me, of his grandmother. And he came in and he was telling me, we need to go to that burial together. I said, okay. He came to my past, we need to go to that burial together. I said, okay. But then I was watching this particular signal. I've been watching for 2 days. So this fake Saturday came, and then we went for the burial. We were already in the church where they gave everybody the booklet to sing from. So we're singing this song, this burial song. When I look at my phone, I discover that, this thing has gotten to where I was expecting. Wow. So I managed to drop the book and I managed to quickly sit down somewhere, sit down in that place and enter the trade, pum, 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 pum. And then I run a signal group. So I quickly gave them signal on the signal group. I said, guy, buy V75. And then we made a profit. Of course, this signal took a couple of hours before we closed the trade. I think more than 24 hours before we closed this trade. But the beautiful thing is that while we were still singing the burial song in the church, someone else was making profit. And I was like, wow, this woman is obviously resting well in heaven because in her burial ceremony, somebody has made more than 5,000 US dollar profit. Oh my goodness, she must be resting well in heaven. I know, like I know my name. I think this woman is resting well in heaven because I made profit in a burial ceremony. Okay, right. Let's move on. So now, what is forex market? What is forex market? And at this juncture, I think we need to. How long have we spent here? Boy, we spent 46 minutes. We spent 46 minutes. We spent 46 minutes. Okay, let's call it a day here. I don't want to state. I don't want this. Uh, I don't want the our recording to be too long, so that you can you'll be able to easily watch it. Okay, so we're supposed to enter what is forex now and really enter go deep and deep and deep and deep and deep. But I want to end this video here. We'll continue tomorrow. If I'm chance, I'll give you a pre-recorded video before live class tomorrow. Every night by 8 p.m. we'll be meeting, but in between the live classes, I'll be giving you a pre-recorded video. If you have question at all, and first of all, pay attention to what we'll be teaching. Pay attention. If you have question, drop the question on the WhatsApp group, and then I will make sure that we'll cover as much as we desire to cover. Get ready to make money. Begin to have a dream. Begin to start having dream. In fact, one of the things I plan to tell you today is that what will be your financial dream? Your financial dream. Because you see, that thing helps a lot. What kind of life do you want to live financially? What is your dream? What is your goal? What is your goal? I remember when I first ever started, my goal was to buy a car and build house. Now the goal has been, increased and get bigger. What is your goal? Begin to dream. And I say, when you dream, please, I want to beg you, don't I don't want it to be too live so much in fantasy, like, oh, this dream is going to happen in 2 months, in 3 months, in 6 months. Even though it's possible, I had exceptional cases, but I don't always promise you that whatever big goal you have is going to happen within the next 2 3 weeks. But then I guarantee you, and my purpose in this class is to shorten your journey to achieve such financial freedom. Shorten the journey. If it's not to shorten the journey, I will not be here following the syllabus. I will not be here trying to touch different aspects. And then even after this class, I will not expect you to start trading live account immediately. I will need to back test and back test and back test again and again. And listen, this thing is not difficult. All you need in a day, maybe just consistently, if you can consistently spend about 30 minutes learning how to trade financial market over a period of time, I guarantee you'll be a pro. You'll be a pro in the financial market. You'll be a pro. You'll be a pro. You'll be a pro. When I started to learn financial market, I was in debt. I was in debt. I was owing rent. I was owing here and there. I was like, the only option I had then was, fortunately, I had a coach. I had a coach that I could be in his room. So my journey was a little bit shorter than most people. And it was because I had a coach that was physically present with me. That shortens your journey. And let me tell you something. I may not be physically present with you, but I could, to a large extent, you know, um, provide for you what a physical coach will provide for you. So I'm going to be ending the class here, and then tomorrow we'll continue. Get yourself ready, make your jottings, get ready to learn, get ready to learn, get ready to learn. I know this class too. I may be giving you some materials to go ahead and study and learn from. But what is important is to pay attention. Just pay attention, learn a lot. At this juncture, I want to end the class so that we don't have too lengthy videos, and then we'll continue from there tomorrow. Thank you, and God bless. Bye bye. Bye bye to every one of you. Okay.